What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. So glad to have you here. Today I'm gonna be making a video on, honestly I haven't even come up with the title. I think it's gonna be like New York hacks, life hacks or something, I don't know. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I kinda want you to stay around so I'm not just talking to a camera for the heck of it. So I have about 11 New York life hacks. I wasn't really going in any particular order and I didn't know how many I was gonna have, but these are the ones that come to mind that I think of all the time. I have been living in New York since July 2014. The anniversary of when I moved to New York is July 18th and it's coming up next week, so probably gonna do something to celebrate. These are a mix of things people told me when I first moved here and just things I picked up after living here for 8 years. The first one is to use the MTA website. This sounds kind of self-explanatory, but for some reason, people forget that it's there and they ask all these questions about the train and get so confused and worried. But there's an MTA website, it is mta.info, and it gives you all of the updates on the trains for that day. Trains don't always operate on the same schedule every day, especially on the weekends, the train schedules change. They run less, sometimes certain stations will be skipped completely and you have to take a different train or take a train to a certain station so that you can go another way. It sounds really confusing, but it's actually quite simple. And all you have to do is have this website. Always have this website open on a tab on your phone. That way you can see any updates. It's really simple to navigate. All you have to do is click on the train that you need updates for. You can click on the exact stop that you're trying to go to or the stop that you're trying to leave from, and it'll tell you exactly when the train is gonna come for both directions. Also, make sure you use the maps on your phone. If you have a smartphone, you will never be lost in New York City. I'm not sure about Android, but on iPhones, they actually just updated the maps so that you can do this thing where you like scan the buildings across the street from you and it'll tell you which way to go. I've been living here for 8 years and I still get confused on which way to go when I get out the train. Definitely use your maps and definitely have the MTA website open on your phone at all times. This one also has something to do with the New York subway. Ditch your Metrocard. You actually no longer need a Metrocard to take the train in New York. You can have one, and if you want one, definitely go ahead and do it. They still have the terminals at every station for you to pay for a card and get a new card. Not every station, but most stations. But if you want to avoid the hassle and make it a little bit smoother, for me, I just use my iPhone. You can use your iPhone, you can use an Apple Watch, you can just use your card. For iPhones is once you add your card or cards to your Apple Wallet, you could just double click anytime on your phone. Just double click your lock button and it's gonna bring up your wallet. I'll have my headphones in, I'm walking to the train and I don't have to like rustle through my bag or anything to get a Metro card. I just have to double tap even as I'm listening to music. I guess it's fairly new because people still give me crazy looks like, how did you do that? Always pack a bag. When you live in New York, you do not drive. You can drive, and some people drive. If you live farther out in Brooklyn or Queens and you have like a full-on family. When I had a car in North Carolina, I would go put things in my trunk and put things in my car. You're gonna use the subway, you're gonna walk, you're gonna take the bus, whatever. For the most part, when you're leaving your apartment, you're probably going out for the whole day or you're going to another area and you'll be there for a couple hours. It could be a backpack or a canvas bag. Have a whole canvas bag full of canvas bags. Babe, can you bring me a bag of those canvas bags? So I have these canvas bags, which I actually got from my office because we usually get them in bulk. This one because it's from the grocery store that I go to whenever I go to the grocery store. I haven't shopped here in forever, but Blue Mercury makeup. I have my mesh one from Public Good. I haven't shopped at Urban Outfitters in so long. It's just one of our bagfuls of canvas bags. All for canvas bags or a backpack. Also bring a refillable water bottle. I love my Hydro Flask. It holds 32 ounces. That is 4 cups of water. And I go through about 2-3 of those a day. Or I just drink out of the mason jar, which is the same exact amount. Most of the times if you go out to eat, if you go out to lunch or dinner, they can refill your water bottle for you. Most people have no problem filling up your water bottle. It's usually tap water anyways, and New York has the cleanest water. No lie, we have the cleanest water here. It's actually pretty good for you because it has like a whole bunch of minerals and fluoride. So if you want to take a car service app, like a rideshare app like Uber or Lyft, check all rideshare apps before booking. I just have Uber and I have Lyft. Usually the airport is where I do this, or if I'm going from Manhattan to Brooklyn, like if I'm leaving in Manhattan coming back home, I will open up Uber and then I open up Lyft. Something happens where one of the prices is gonna go down because it senses that you're about to use a competitor. I have no idea. I honestly do not know the science behind this, but it works. I'll be like at baggage claim at the airport. I'll have them both open. And then when we leave and we have our bags, when it's time to book, I'll open the apps back up and it'll show one of them cheaper. Again, I do not know if this is scientifically proven, but it works. It's been working jaywalking, and I always do it. If you are visiting and you're a tourist, you have an excuse. But people that live here, I'm just like, how do you not know how to hail a cab yet? If the lights are on, it means that it's available. If the lights are off, it means that it's occupied. Every time I go to work, like literally every single time, I see people just in the street, like frantically, like, you're hailing taken cabs. There are definitely rush hours when cabs are being taken the most. It's a little bit more difficult to hail a cab, but as long as the box on top, their numbers are lit up, it means that it's available. Most of the time, they will drive in your direction and drive towards you if they see you in the street trying to hail a cab because they want your business. But if they're just passing you on purpose, it means that they're taken or they're off duty. If you are traveling a long distance, don't take a cab. Definitely take an Uber or a Lyft or take the subway, because with Uber and Lyft, the price is fixed. With the taxi cab, they have a meter, so they run the meter up, and I feel like they're a little upset that Uber and Lyft are kind of taking all their business, so they're purposely running up these meters because they're mad. Next on the list, become a jaywalking pro. Jaywalking here is pretty common. Everyone does it all the time. It's pretty normal. So obviously when you cross the street, you look both ways, but there are a lot of one-way streets here. You can be really good at it if you pay attention to the street signs and know which way the cars are coming. That way you can use it to your advantage. Strategically grocery shop. You can go grocery shopping a couple different ways here. Outsource it and use Instacart or Gorilla and have someone go pick up your groceries. Or you can use like Fresh Direct. I use Fresh Direct and I use Whole Foods off of Amazon. I grocery shop online and they deliver my order. And then sometimes I'll go to Brooklyn Harvest. That is the nicest grocery store in my opinion. The rest of them are so gross. All of my drinks, all of the heavy things. And for like our produce, I do Fresh Direct or Whole Foods. And then if I need some extra things, like I need an onion, some tomatoes, and some crackers, I don't know, I'll just go to the store and pick it up myself. I never get multiple bags of things and grocery shop that way because that is horrible. I would not want to carry all of that bag. But if you want to save money and you don't want to use a delivery app because you definitely have to pay a delivery fee and a tip, you can either go directly to the grocery store and shop and then they will deliver it for you. Like they'll go back with you. I've had that happen where they walk back with me with my groceries. Or you can get a cart. I used to think that it was so lame to have a cart. Like all I saw were all these old ladies walking around with carts and I'm like, I can't do that. That is so like lame. But sometimes a cart just works. That way you're not having to carry everything because again, you don't have a car. So you're either gonna carry everything or you're gonna find a way to make it easier. This is one that I really want everyone to know. Opt for lunch instead of dinner. For these higher end restaurants, I work in Upper East Side, so I'm surrounded. Felipe Chow and Avra and Anessa Taverna, Nobu, really high end with world-renowned chefs, and their food is usually generally very expensive. Take advantage of these restaurants by going for lunch. Most of these restaurants have a prefix menu, meaning you can get an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert for a specific price. It is the same thing that they have on the main menu, they just have less on the prefix menu, but most restaurants usually put the most popular dishes on their prefix menu because they do want you to try it. Usually the prefix menus are only $30, $40 per person. I go to lunch in the Upper East Side often, and usually we're getting the prefix menu. For example, Felipe Chow, great restaurant if you've never been. It was only I think it's $30. So cheap for how good this food is. And you get like a full size. They're not like ripping you off with the amount of food you get either. We're getting to the end of the list, I only have 3 more. Strategically plan your bathroom breaks. They definitely will not just let you use the bathroom for free. You either have to have been a customer there or you have to buy something right then and there to be able to use the bathroom. Also, most of their bathrooms have lock codes on them, so you can't just even go in and try to like sneak in and use the bathroom. Or you can just use one of the free public restrooms. Definitely not gonna be clean, but you can use the restroom if you need. Central Park has a couple. The Plaza Food Hall, which is closed now until they decide to open, if they decide to open, they had a clean bathroom inside that was open to the public. There's a couple different other places. Plan it out strategically. You ate lunch somewhere, use the bathroom, even if you don't feel like you have to. You just kind of have to plan your bathroom breaks. Keep earplugs nearby. I have my earplugs right here. I have so many more in my side table. Earplugs have saved my life. I used to not want to wear earplugs. When I first moved here and I lived in Manhattan, I didn't need them. I actually liked the noise in the background. Living in Brooklyn is a little bit different. The noise isn't like a white noise. It's very loud and annoying, and our windows are definitely not soundproof, so I need earplugs. We have a bodega downstairs on our corner. A lot of people stop there all hours of the night to grab food, snacks, whatever, cigarette. They will play music in their car at full blast. Like they will leave it playing even when they go in the store, and it'll be like a Tuesday. So definitely invest in some earplugs if you value your sleep. Okay, the last one on this list, know your tenant rights. One of you asked on one of my videos if I could make a video on how I negotiated my rent down. Our rent when we moved in was $21.50 and we now pay $19.50. When we signed our our lease, it stated that we're gonna have a washer and dryer in our building, which is a really big deal in New York. And if you have one in your unit, so I would do my laundry every 2 weeks and we didn't have any problems. So then one time we went to go do our laundry and the washer wasn't working. It filled up with water, but it didn't dissolve the laundry pod and it never actually ran the cycle. It just filled the washing machine up with water. So all of our dirty clothes were sitting in this dirty water with a laundry pod floating around. I said something multiple times. I would email them back. They said the washer's fine, there's no problems. I'm like, I'm not lying. This happened about 3 times until I was like, okay. Long story short, they replaced the washer. It still was doing the same thing. I was like, listen, you guys need to fix this washer or we need to get lower rent. We highlighted the parts in part 2, section A, subsection 3, and we highlighted it, scanned it back in, attached it to an email and said, in our lease, it says that we will have a washer and dryer in the building and this is what we're paying for. They had gotten tired of trying to fix this washer. They were only replacing it with the same exact refurbished washer. It was so cheap, it was so outdated. I guess they got annoyed with us for constantly complaining about it, so they brought it down from $21.50 to $19.50, and that's what we've been paying for the past year or so. They still have not fixed this washer and dryer. We just go do our laundry 3 blocks down, which is kind of annoying, but it takes us less time since there's so many more washers and dryers at an actual laundromat. We pay on time every month. We've been here for 4 years. During the height of the pandemic, like March 2020, everyone in this building left. They had to move back home because unfortunately they could not afford rent. So it was just us and our neighbor. We were the only tenants in this building. Know your lease, like always keep a copy of it, know what you're paying for, know who to reach out to, and know what to do when things aren't going the right way. Those are all the New York life hacks I have. If I think of any more, I'll do a part 2. These are definitely things I wish I knew when I first moved here, and I'm glad I learned them along the way. And I'm glad for all the little angels that helped me out when I first moved here because it was very helpful. Living here doesn't have to be stressful and complicated. Don't listen to the people who don't live here or who had never lived here who want to tell you what it's like because it is so wrong. I haven't done this in a while, but if you made it up this far in the video, comment the crystal ball emoji. I really like that one. I'll see you next time.